Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
My name is Naila Nur Syakila Alulu. I'm a student at Darul Mukhlisin at Bandung Barat. I want to ask about Dr. Zakir Naik. You often explain that Islam teach universal brotherhood, where all human beings are brothers, no matter their country or school. But in many Muslim communities, including in my country, Indonesia, there's still a lot of division and centuries fanaticism. Sometimes even worse than how people treat non-Muslim. In your opinion, how can Muslims truly achieve universal brotherhood if we are still divided among ourselves? Thank you.
The sister asked an important question. She's saying that in her country, Indonesia, even Muslims fight among themselves. And that is common in other countries also, not only Indonesia. And there are various divisions, various sects, various groups. What is the solution? The solution for unity amongst the Muslims, Allah says in the Quran, in Surah Imran, chapter number 3, verse number 103, وَاعْتَصِمُوا بِحَبْلِ اللَّهِ جَمِيعًا وَلَا تَفَرَّقُوا. Hold strongly to the rope of Allah and be not divided. Hold strongly to the rope of Allah and be not divided. That means we Muslims should be united on the basis of the Quran. The rope of Allah is the glorious Quran and Sahih Hadith. So the only way the Muslim Ummah can be united is on the basis of the Quran. Unfortunately, we follow other things than the Quran. Maybe you may follow culture, no problem. But if it goes against the Quran is more superior. So the only way the Muslim Ummah can be united is on the basis of the Quran. And Allah also says in several places in the Quran, Atiullah wa atiur Rasul. Obey Allah and obey the Messenger. In Surah Imran chapter number 3 verse number 32. In Surah Imran chapter 3 verse number 132. In Surah Nisa chapter 5 verse number 59. In Surah Ma'idah chapter 5 verse number 92. In Surah Anfal chapter 8 verse number 1. In Surah Anfal chapter 8 verse number 20. In Surah Anfal chapter 8 verse number 46. In Surah Nur chapter 24 verse number 54. In Surah Nur chapter 24 verse number 56. In Surah Mujadila chapter 58 verse number 13. In Surah Taghabun chapter 64 verse number 12. Several places. Atiullah wa atiur Rasul. Obey Allah and obey the Messenger. So if we have this, why do we differ? Give the proof from the Quran. So if we concentrate on the Quran, anyone says Islam says they, Kul hasu burhanakum. Produce your proof in kuntum sadiqin, but if you're truthful. So we, rather than talking about the Quran, you say so ustad, so much ustad, so ustad say so and so thing, this ustad. If the ustad gives you reference of Quran, you follow the ustad. If it doesn't give, then keep it aside, correct? If Dr. Zakir Naik says there is nothing in the Quran, Dr. Zakir Naik is zero in Islam. If I quote the Quran, you follow. If I quote the Sahih Hadith, you follow. So if we stick to the Quran and Sahih Hadith, the Muslim Ummah will be united. And we should not be divided over small issues. We should be united on the basis of Quran. So now if we study the Quran and we implement the Quran and we stick to it, inshallah we'll be united. Hope that answers the question.